gorgeous, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new here. So today I'll be discussing or telling you about 10 micro hair care habits that grew my hair from this to this. So let's get into it. So the first tip or habit that I have for you today is to switch your pillowcases to satin or silk material. So the thing with regular pillowcases, it is made up of cotton or polyester blends, which can cause the friction and breakage. With silk material versus the cotton material, the silk will preserve the moisture level in your hair and prevent it from becoming dry and brittle. So yeah, that's tip number one. Let's move on to tip number two. One thing to note is when you're purchasing a silk or satin pillowcase, please do read the description to make sure that it's 100% silk or satin, because some of them have a blend of, especially the cheaper ones, have a blend of like cotton and polyester, and that's not the material we're aiming for. So make sure that you pay attention to the description when you're purchasing. If you want to purchase the one that I use, the link will be in the description to my Amazon storefront, so you can purchase it. But two is to trim when needed, and this is based on my own experience. Some persons do not trim any at all and their hair is fine. So I mean, I'm just sharing my tips, the things that I've done in the past to achieve the length that I'm at today. Regular trims are crucial for maintaining the health of your hair, but if you trim unnecessarily, you know, that's going to hinder your growth. So it's important to know when you need a trim. Sometimes all you need is to dust your ends from time to time. When you actually need like a big trim to cut off like an inch or two of your hair is when you have a lot of split ends, a lot of tangle or single strand knots. Then you'll know that you'll have to cut off more than, or do more than dusting rather. So yeah, that's tip number two. Tip number three is to deep condition your hair every time you wash your hair. So if you wash your hair every week, then deep condition your hair every week if you're able to. Hey, you know, life be lifing. So I understand, girl. Deep conditioning does to your hair is to provide like that extra hydration and nourishment to your hair strands in comparison to what a regular conditioner would do. So it's important to have that deep hydration, that deep moisture into your strand, to just have or maintain the healthiness of your hair. So if you find that your hair, hold on, just need a little bit close. If you find that your hair is dry or rough to the touch, then you need to incorporate a deep conditioner into your hair care routine or wash day routine to replenish the moisture and help like smooth your hair. Oh, trust me, it's a game changer. If you haven't deep conditioned or haven't deep conditioned your hair as often as you should, you might be at the risk of having hair loss, because dryness leads to breakage. The opposite of dryness is moisture, and this is one of the ways you can incorporate that intense hydration into your strands. Tip number four is wearing protective styles, and this is like one of my favorites because it's more fun than the others. Yeah, wearing protective styles is a great way to minimize daily manipulation. Like if you have a problem, if you realize you have a problem with the continuous touching of your hair, then you know protective style is gonna help you with that. By keeping your hair in a protective style like braids, buns, what else, wigs, sewings, you know, all those protective styles. Some are high maintenance, some are low maintenance, still protective styles. So by doing so, you're retaining length because you're not brushing your hair every day, putting it up in a bun every day. You know, your hands are out of your hair and it is like tucked away safely, you get me, and it's just growing, flourishing. And remember, one important fact is that when you're hair in a protective style, do not neglect it. Like I know some of you guys will be wearing it here for like 6 months. I've worn my protective style for like 3 months, but I wash it in between. I still oil my scalp. I still apply leave-in conditioner. So the key thing is to make sure that you're taking care of your hair while it's in a protective style. If you didn't have any protective style, you'll be manipulating every day, but since you have a protective style in, you're thinking that you don't have to touch it any at all. Well, that's not the case. You have to actually still treat it. It could be like twice a week, once a week, you know, depending on what protective style you're wearing. Yeah, so let's move on to tip number 5. Habit is very common and it is an essential daily thing for our overall well-being, and that is staying hydrated and having nutrient foods. There's not much to say that the condition of your hair is a reflection of your internal health. If you nourish your body with nutrient rich foods, say 80% of the time, because you know 80% of the time you're actually eating well, it will positively impact the health and the appearance of your hair. The 6th micro hair care habit that grew my hair is using a detangling brush or a white teeth comb that doesn't cause any breakage. One of my favorite brush to use is, I have it. I recently got this Tangle Teaser brush, and the bristles, like, it is so flexible, minimize breakage. The other one that I have, I will include them on the screen somewhere. And using a white teeth comb, do not use a rat tail comb to detangle your hair. Like, you're setting up yourself for failure. Okay, so the main thing about this habit to incorporate a white teeth comb or a detangling brush, a good detangling brush, is to minimize the breakage. So as you realize, minimizing breakage helps retain the length that you're growing. Get you a tangle teaser or a white teeth comb and like throw that rat tail comb out. Okay, tip number 7. If you're one of those girlies that love to use like oils on your scalp, I am going to recommend wild growth oil or castor oil on your scalp. And I also use the castor oil on my ends sometimes to like seal in the moisture and stuff. Wild growth oil and castor oil has been like chef kiss for me over the years. The moment I started to incorporate those oils into my hair care routine, I started to see changes. Like, my hair was growing, especially the wild growth oil, because I've always been using the castor oil, and as you know, castor oil helps with promoting hair growth. So when I was using the wild growth oil, like, my hair was flourishing. It was nourishing my scalp, I'm telling you. And in high school, like, I remember, a little digression. In high school, I remember one day I did my hair, like, I'll see if I can find a picture, but the only thing that I used was a leave-in conditioner. I think it was Shea Moisture conditioner and the castor oil, and I twisted, like, I did a whole mini twist in my hair, because in Jamaica we can't wear like braids. Like, the protective style that I had to wear was like done on my own natural hair. So I digress. I used the castor oil and the leave-in together and just rubbed it to my hair. My hair was like so oily because I drenched that castor oil in my hair to achieve that style that I wanted. And I'm just telling this story just to show you that I use the castor oil and the wild growth so often. They were major products into my hair care routine. So if you don't own a castor oil or a wild growth oil, go get it right now. Pause this video, well, watch this video and then go get it. Guys, I'm not telling you to drench your hair in the castor oil or the wild growth oil, because a little goes a long way, but I was like so obsessed with it that I actually drenched my hair with those mini twists because I love them so much. Yeah, do not drench your hair with the oils. It's gonna weigh your hair down and it will appear greasy. Cool. Hair care habit 8, number 8. This is a juicy one. You want to limit sulfate shampoos into your routine, meaning what I still do is before a protective style I would use a sulfate shampoo. I will link an example of one. Well, an example is Tresemme. I use Tresemme shampoo that has sulfate in it. So what sulfate does is to strip your hair from all the oils, all the gunk, like every single thing. So a sulfate free shampoo now, it still does the cleansing, but like if you use a silicone based, am I getting too deep? If you use a silicone based shampoo, the sulfate free shampoo doesn't get rid of all of the silicone dirt and debris that's on your hair. It doesn't strip your hair entirely. Like the sulfate shampoo will strip your hair from all its moisture, while the sulfate free does not. It still does cleanse your hair very well, but it keeps that natural oil on your scalp. The key thing to remember is that using sulfate free shampoos will retain the moisture in your hair, and it will prevent, you know, any breakage from happening. It will reduce frizz as well. So for me, for over these years in my hair care journey, I would use a sulfate shampoo like once a month, or what I do is before, as I said, before a protective style, I want like everything out of my hair, like just strip my hair from everything before a protective style, because I know that I will have that in for a very long time. So the other times that I use a sulfate shampoo is like after that protective style, because you know you have that in for a very long time now, so you want to get rid of all the gunk and stuff. So the key thing to note or to take away from this is that sulfate shampoos are harsher, strip your hair from everything, all the moisture, everything, and sulfate free shampoo, it effectively cleanses your hair, but at the same time it retains the essential moisture or oils in your hair. The 9th micro hair habit that I have for you today is to use heat protectant. Like every time you blow dry your hair, use a heat protectant. This can be Color Wow, it can be if you flat iron your hair by yourself, because you know if you go to a salon they will use a heat protectant as a pro. But if you're doing it at home by yourself, make sure that you are using the right resources to prevent any damage from happening. So make sure that if you're flat ironing your hair, blow drying your hair, make sure that you're using a heat protectant. And in the same breath, please note that although you're using heat protectant every time you blow dry, if you're doing this excessively, it will damage your hair even though you're using heat protectant. If you are going to use heat, make sure that you kind of give it a break in between. Say you blow, every time you wash your hair you blow dry it, so you wash your hair one time every week, so that would be like 4 times for the month. Just go into a protective style for the next month to kind of give your hair a break from the blow drying, and then you know afterwards. So you want to limit the heat. The tip we're ending on with today is to avoid tight hairstyles. Guys, I know, like sometimes, I know as a kid, again story time, I know as a kid, like when we're doing our hair and if in a tight, it's like in a comb or not look neat, well we have to get rid of that. Yeah, like the tight hairstyles aren't it. If you're saying you're protecting your hair or you want your hair to grow, you have to be aware of that. Hairstyles, they will cause tension, lead to breakage. It may cause other serious health issues, so depending on how tight your hair. I know you see some of those protective styles that are like very tight to the scalp. It will cause alopecia and other serious hair conditions. Avoiding tight hairstyles, you are preventing scalp irritation and you are promoting healthy hair growth. We have come to the end of today's video. We have covered like a range of tips, micro tips and habits that is essential for you to incorporate to have healthy, long hair that you deserve. Do remember that The key to achieving your hair goals is consistency and patience. Do what works for you, learn your hair, learn what your hair likes and don't like. Incorporate these tips and you will for sure achieve your goals, your hair goals. And if you have any tips or habits that you have incorporated over the years in your own hair care journey, please share them below, and to help me and the others that are viewing this video today. I would love to hear about it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.